welcome to RygolGosan's YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over a subject in Factorio that some channels tend to touch base on, but don't necessarily explain it, at least not in my opinion, in very good detail. So let's take a look here today. So as you'll notice, some players try to do parking lots, and in some instances it's doable. It's just not fairly explained well. So the basic idea of setting up the little parking lot is understood. And then setting up, of course, your rail signals for trains leaving the little parking lot. But what about the before part? Well, that's where I was a little confused, and I'm sure some people are as well. So the easiest way that I figured it out was thanks to another video, which I'll link down in the description below, because they actually make really good content. But let's take a look here and see, as you saw that train pass by, this is a rail signal, chain signal. So what it'll do is it'll read the lights ahead of it. But right now there's no trains in the system, so it's showing green. If a train just so happened to pass through here, then these would turn red to indicate that there is a train in there. But then here it would turn blue because that means that there's more options for the other trains that are trying to come into the station to pass through. So as a train, as an example, as we're passing through, as the train comes in or comes out from any mining locations that you have set up or other parts of the base, they'll pass through here. They'll see if there's another train. If this is full up, then they will simply sit right here. Back here, where the chain signal is. Otherwise, even if all of these are filled up, but one's available, it'll show green here, and they'll see that that is an option with the blue chain signal, and they will pass down through into the system, feeding into your, essentially, train stations. So, as we make the journey down, you'll see that I've got an extra strip here, just to buy enough time for trains to kind of get off the track and systems and stuff. You can make it as short or as long as you desire. This is just what worked for me. So then what I've learned in terms of Factorio overall is that with the chain signals, you use them pretty much after splits. You'll use them right after splits. So here comes a train, and it was oncoming, so it turned yellow. So I've learned to use chain signals at splits, and then use the actual regular rail signals when you're combining the rails. Down here it's a little different just because I have oil and I have yet to reconfigure this bottom part. So let's go to the top part of my train station section. So I have it set up to where there's two stations and a pass through in the middle. So as it splits, I've got a rail signal here, and a rail signal here. So it'll read the signals that are ahead, the rail signals that are ahead, to make sure that there is no train currently at the station. This makes sure that you don't have another train pretty much trying to come to this station and runs right into it. How I have this configured is both stations have the exact same name of iron in, for example. So the trains that are coming in, since I have multiple iron locomotives coming in and out, since I've got my first train here, the second one that's coming in to drop off a load will still see the same name, just with a different path. So they've got options, and this is the easiest way to set up where you have the same trains going to pick up resources and to drop them off, and that way they know they pretty much have a path versus having to wait for the one train station. If you just keep it to where it's just the different names, then you'll have a train sitting here forever to get into this one station. So I've got it again, signals at the splits, and then regular signals as you're combining them, such as this. So it's coming through, all the signals turn red, then they turn green because there's nothing coming on the track. Yellow, red, and there you go. I'm glad that some trains came by here so you guys can see as an example. So again, chain signals when you're splitting tracks to go to different locations, and then regular signals when you're combining tracks together. Of course, you could still use them normally, just for, logistics purposes, but this is what works for me, at least for setting up a parking lot and a train station for multiple trains while I'm gathering resources. And then with the center pass through, since there's no trains that actually sit here as there's no station, it'll just check to make sure there's not one blocked or sitting there. And if there's nothing, as you saw before, they'll just cross right through and go to the appropriate stations that they're trying to reach. And I've done this for iron, stone, copper, and coal, as well as ammunition, as I'm spreading my operations in this save big game variant. So I hope this helps you guys out just as much as it helped me out. Honestly, I've had to search the internet and YouTube trying to figure out how trains worked. Well, more complicated train systems worked, and this is pretty much what worked for me. But again, I'll link down in the description below the videos and the channel that actually helped me out the most in terms of figuring this out. And I do appreciate them for making the content as they always do. Make sure to check them out, see if there's something more complex that you guys could probably make from these videos. Remember, like, share, subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I'll catch you guys next time.